All right, guys. I just kind of stumbled into this one. I wish I would have kind of seen it earlier. And there's a lot of good advice. Everybody is speaking from their experience, and that's great. I just wanted to take a moment to speak from my experience, and my experience kind of on the other side of flip side of the coin. For as long as I've been doing this, I'm selling products to a lot of startup businesses, a lot of people getting into this business. And so I kind of have a pulse, an idea of, I see what the successful companies have in common. I also see what the non-successful companies have in common. And if you kind of search group, you use the search function, I've definitely repeated this before, and there's a lot of good advice, even if you just do various queries and searches within group, because the group, it's starting to get more popular, but it's been around for a long time. Anyways, to answer the question, you asked Jim about, starting small and working your way up. And so, I have the philosophy, again, watching people be successful and having certain traits and characteristics and methods in common. And again, the ones that kind of fail in this business, I see commonalities there too. And so, in my opinion, guys, only my opinion. It's not fact, but my opinion. If you have the budget and you can start with 2 screens, so it's like a lot of people are starting this they're bootstrapping it, or they're timid and they want to, invest as little as possible before they jump all in. And so the way to do that is to start with 2 screens, a big one and a small one. If you have a big one, a small one, and one audio and video complete box with all your audio and video all set up, speakers, geared towards the larger screen. That way, whenever you have to use it on the smaller screen, it's like even a little overpowered. You might get to the backyard parties a little sooner because you have a stronger projector on it that's made for that bigger screen, right? And so here's the logic. And when you're able to start with a big and a small, and we'll talk about sizes in a second, but when you start with a big and a small, sorry, I got so many things in my head right now, and I wanted to touch this before I wandered into something else, because I won't get back here. I was disappointed I didn't see this post sooner, or really paid attention to it. So you have the 2 sizes, and you have the one setup. That way when a lead comes in, sometimes somebody's going to call you with the little budget. Sometimes somebody's going to call you with the big budget. You have 2 options. You have that small budget option. You have that big budget option. And you have one audio and video system to go out with either one of those screens, right? And you're building your business through these 2 screens, one AV system. At some point, your outdoor movie business is going to have legs, and you're going to get a request to have, thankfully, praise God, both screens are going to get rented the same day. All right? Purchasing audio and video equipment is so much easier than purchasing another inflatable screen last minute, especially dead middle of, excuse me, I think I need some water. Dead middle of the season, the rush where, your only option is going to be some crappy thing off of Amazon because, right before 4th of July, you're not going to find anything in stock. And so in this instance, instead of investing in a bigger screen or another screen, you're investing in audio and video, which you could go to Best Buy. At worst case scenario, worst dollar price point, you go to Best Buy. It doesn't matter you're spending an extra $50 or $100, because in the long run, right, you're now renting this screen. So you have to, it's going to take you longer to earn back that extra $100, $200 investment for the premium priced electronics from Best Buy versus Amazon or some other favored electronics store. I hope that makes sense. Now, maybe I got a little excited there, so let me slow down a second. Sorry, I get so excited about this stuff. So, real quick, 2 screens. You have a small and a big, and you have one audio video system, okay? And you're marketing yourself, and you're getting leads. Those leads are coming in. When the call comes in, if it's a backyard rental, you're going to be able to handle it. If it's a park rental, you're going to be able to handle it. Because as you're starting out, you're probably, again, only going to be getting that one or the other rental. If you only start with one, you're limited to just that. And, losing a lead because you only have that one size, the small one or the large one. Okay? So now the question is, you don't have the budget for 2 screens. Well, do I get a big one or a large one? And I think that's the crux of this, of what I'm responding to right now. Do we get a big one or a large one? Well, if you can only afford one, you want to start small. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but again, I've watched people crash and burn. And some of you had the fortitude, the drive, the everything you needed to start with one, a 20-footer, a 30-footer, a 16-footer. And you had the either the drive to market it, or you had the drive to stick it through stomach, it not going out a lot in the beginning until you really had legs to sell it and grow the business and get to where you are today. But the fact is, if you're just starting out and you can only afford one, start with the smallest. Because the smaller one is going to rent more frequently. So what value is there purchasing a 20 or a 30 if you're only going to rent it once or twice a month or once every 3 months? And I've heard worse. And generally, when it gets, at the point, when they're, my dirty teeth. When they're not renting it more frequently than every 3 months, I mean, they kind of fade out of outdoor movie business, So the backyard rentals are frequent. The backyard rentals are every weekend. And it's so much easier getting a backyard rental. It's about frequency. If you're making that first purchase, it's about frequency. How often can I rent it? And so again, unless I know some people, they came into this business and they already are doing something. They're DJing, they're doing some sort of event, wedding, something involved. And so when they adopt outdoor movies and projection screens for their events and things, it's easier for them, and they can kind of start with any size they want. But especially the bounce house guys, you guys already have access to this niche, right? So it would be better to get an 8-foot, 10-foot, 9-foot, 12-foot. I'm talking, when I say 8-foot, we're not talking sizes, guys. I'm talking about projection screen from left to right, the white part, not the entire contraption, apparatus, inflatable parts. When we're talking about sizes, we're talking about projection surface. And so yeah, 20 foot is generally 20 by 11 and some inches. If we want to get exactly 16 aspect ratio, a lot of manufacturers just for simplicity make it a 20 by 12 with a nice seam. Not the good ones though. And you guys know who the good ones are. There's a handful of good ones out there. Give you nice seamless projection screens, not just Superior Inflatables. It's not only about Superior Inflatables. It's about the industry, and it's about a whole lot of stuff. So I don't care. Represent yourself well. Superior Inflatables is not the only brand. There's some really good brands out there, and even one I particularly have a lot of respect for as a peer. So yeah, buy good product, represent yourself well, and that's really what's going to make your business successful. Okay, sorry, sizes. I'm getting sidetracked. Let me camel back this way, center. So sizes. What are the two best sizes? So a backyard size, and that would be like the white part, an 8 by 4.5, which I think is 83 inches diagonal. Up to between that, and then up to a 12 by 7, a 12 by 7 white part, 12 by 7, which is 165 inches diagonal. If you're measuring it like a TV, it's a 165 inch screen, but it's actually 12 by 7. So that would be my small purchase, would be something in that range. I have an 8 by 4, I have a 10 by 5.5, I have a 12 by 7. I have those odd sizes. Other companies, mostly their smallest, I think, is usually a 9 by 6 or 9 by 6.5, something like that. No, 9 by 6. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. No, maybe a 9 by 5. Sorry, 9 by 5, I think. 9 by 5. I know Air Screen's a 9 by 5. Open Air Cinema, I think, is a 9 by 5. And those others out there. Let's see. Okay, so that would be the small one. And then for the big one, minimum 16 by 9. Your average movie in the park is a 16 by 9. Sometimes people really want to go big, cities really want to go big, be impressive, and then that's a 20 by 11.5 to a 20 by 12. 25 by 14, that's a great large size. Now, if we're talking about kind of extra large sizes, the 25 by 14, that would be at the bottom. And then at the top end of the spectrum would be a 40 to 60. There aren't very many 60s floating around this country. Very few. A lot of 40s. Not very many 60s. And, things bigger than... sizes bigger than 40 really require more securing, more science, stuff like that. And but the 40 footers are really common throughout our country. And Airscreen has a couple 100 footers, maybe 1 or 2, I think, floating around that travel. I could be wrong, and you can correct me, Airscreen. Feel free. All the love, and partake in the forum. All vendors should partake in this group, in a sense. If you want to advertise, you can advertise. If you want to, but at the very least, support your products. I recommend supporting your products when your products come up. And if you want to advertise, definitely talk to me first. But yeah, those are the two sizes: the 12-foot to the 8-foot to 12-foot range, the small, and then the 16 to I would say 25-foot range for the large. And if you can start out with 2 screen sizes, a large and a big, you're golden. You're golden. And if you can't, to sum all this up in closing, if you can't have 2 sizes, then start with 1 and start smaller. Start the smallest you think your market can handle. It's like, let me explain it this way. When somebody asks Michael Schumacher how fast he takes his corners, do you guys know Formula One or who Michael Schumacher is? Champion, Formula One. And when they asked him how fast, do you take your corners? And he's like, it's not how fast I do it. I'm not saying this right, but basically, I go as slow as I have to. Do you understand? I go as slow as I have to. So you understand your market. You understand whether on the small side, an 8-foot, 10-foot size, which by the way, they're big. They're big. They're big. They fill up a backyard. We're talking about the white projection screen size. You have the inflatable frame around that 8-foot or 10-foot projection screen. The apparatus itself is big. They fill up backyards. So, anyways, guys, I hope this helps. I hope this gives some clarity to what you need to start out with if you're looking to start out in the inflatable movie screen business. No smoke and mirrors with my videos. Well, except maybe I have my fake tooth in. What you see is what you get. And to all my customers out there, I really appreciate your love and appreciation of our product and your support of Superior Inflatables over a couple decades now. And wow, the third decade, 30 years will really celebrate. But thank you. You guys have all been great. Been able to stay in business and through ups and downs within industry, everything. So you guys have always been great. I really appreciate the love, and participate in group here. You guys, there's a lot to learn. Really use the search function of group. If you're using the search function, you're going to learn a lot about the outdoor movie business. There's a lot of contribution from people in the past that had valuable information, and I would always definitely kind of start there, and then that'll help you formulate good questions for the group to further knowledge and give, I know I'm kind of a crazy, passionate, excited person, and sometimes hard to understand. So if you guys have any questions in the comments, send me a direct message, and I definitely kind of break it down and help you understand anything I might have gotten you confused on, or maybe you have a level up type of question, and definitely reach out. Okay? See you later. Rich from Superior Inflatables. Bye.